Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Good day from the beautiful city of Abuja. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's edition of Money Radio. And you are on to the transportation segment of the program. We're discussing a topic today that says what next for the transportation industry with the appointment of a new minister. During the week, President Muhammadu Buhari appointed a new set of ministers, including the Minister of Transportation. And in the Ministry of Transportation, we now have the person of Minister Muazu Sambo. With just about 9, 10 months to go for this administration, what is next for this minister? What can he do? To discuss that with me in the studio is AGK, our transportation aficionado. AGK, you're welcome to the studio again.
Yeah, thank you. We are here again.
Yeah. So, we're talking about just 9, 10 months. Is there any impact, or is it just a ceremonial issue we're talking about here? 9, 10 months left for this administration. What can be done?
Yeah. I think we have precisely about 10 minutes. But in a short time, but you must also agree that government is a continual process. So the structures have been there. What was just removed was the head, the minister,
Yes.
the directors, the engineers, the PAMSEC, and every other person are still there.
Yes, but the head gives direction.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, as a matter of fact, who becomes the head or who is the head that means a lot. You may have all the good subordinates, but the head, if the head is not effective or good enough, they may not be able to run it. So the situation in transport is very dicey because we had a minister who was very vibrant.
Minister
Rotimi
Mamechi.
the former minister, was very vibrant. He was very coordinated. He was focus driven. He knew what he wanted and he was driving towards it. If he gave you a project, I keep saying it. The Lagos Ibadan Railway was supposed to be for 3 years. He did it for 1 year, 6 months because he pushed the contractor. They were working morning and night, and it was achieved within 1 year, 6 months. Because then, where the first regime of President Mohamed Buhari was about to end, so he wanted to ensure that he finishes that project before they go for
The first time you mean?
first time.
Yeah.
So the minister made sure they finished it. So what am I trying to say? The Amechi had a zeal, Amechi had a push, Amechi was ready to work at any time. Now we have a minister who is stepping in, though an engineer by profession, and he has been in the maritime industry. In fact, he's saying he started his profession in maritime
Yes.
as far back as 1984. So, which means he should have an experience, he should have interest, he should have this interest that since I started here, I have to make impact within the 10 months. No, what does he need to do? Simple. He doesn't need to initiate any new project. He just simply needs to look at what is ongoing and look at the one he can push and complete within 10 months. You can't do everything at a time, but you can do some based on the finances. For example, we have the Lekki deep sea port, which is almost completed, though not commissioned, but it's as good as being completed. It's about 90%. We have the Abuja, the Kaduna Kano rail line.
Yes. Sorry, this Lekki Deep Sea Port, is it a federal project or a state project?
It's not, it's a PPP project. Federal government is involved. It's
No,
not
but who is the
state.
partner? When you talk about
It's
PPP, there must
federal
be a
government.
partner.
It's not state.
It's not a state.
Federal government. There's nothing. Well, the state can have a stake inside, but it's a federal government project. You can't have port authority under state as a state project. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
That's a very big one. So that is a federal project in conjunction with some private partners. So it's a federal government project. Now we're almost ready. But we have ships coming in there now, cranes coming. Then we have the Kano Kaduna. Kano Kaduna, that is a very critical main line. It will link the Abuja straight to Kano. The minister was driving it, the former minister Amici was driving it, but at the point politics took over.
You speak about Amechi with nostalgia, as if you are missing his
No, of course,
regime.
if you covered Amici, you will know that except this minister, this current, this Sambo, does something magical, it will be very difficult for you to do what Amici has done. Because I cover, it's not only Amici I cover aviation, I cover the minister, I cover police, the minister, I cover so many places. And I've seen ministers who sleeping, who refuse to do their work. I've been here for 7 years and we're talking about Nigeria Air. But in Amechi, you see somebody that was really, he's stuck and do minister. If he tells you he wants to do this thing, you go after it. So he was really, apart from the political things, he was also ready to work and he was delivering. He was doing a lot of things at the same time. So you need somebody of that caliber. Though yesterday, the man, when he resumed as the Minister of Transport, the new minister, Sambo, on Wednesday, he made some commitments. He said he was going to start off immediately and go around and see the projects and now focus on infrastructure to complete the most critical ones before. In fact, he personally admitted that he has no time. So there is no time to sleep. And from what I've heard, I heard that the man too is an action man. So I'm just hoping that he'll be able to do part of
Let
it.
me paraphrase some of his opening or welcome remarks to the ministry. Um, some of them include that he's going to tackle low hanging fruits first, low hanging projects, those ones that are doable.
Yes.
That's one. He said to his people, I'm very easy to work with, but if you step on my toes,
Yes.
I will deal with you tenfold.
Yes.
And
I
he
think
said, we can stay here together for 50 years, and once you don't cross my path,
we'll
we'll
not have
be.
any law. I think
Do
I
you
think
see him to be that kind of person?
I think that's the kind of spirit we need in that transformation. For you to achieve what Amici has done. In fact, most of us that were there when he was giving that speech, we were happy. We were happy for Nigeria. We are not talking about personal thing now. We're talking about somebody that can deliver within a short time. And when you listen to the way he was speaking, if he matches action with words, that's the kind of man we need. He made it open. There was a clear statement to the media, to the everybody was present. And he was telling them, the directors, the PAMSEC, everybody, don't cross me if you want peace. If you don't want peace, you cross me, I will give you problems throughout my state. And he was even narrating a situation where he had an issue with where he and the PAMSEC went to the same school, and the PAMSEC knows how they punish junior students there. He was just trying to bring a kind of comic relief, but he was indirectly telling them that I'm ready to punish anybody if I can be talking to the PAMSEC like this. In fact, the PAMSEC was shocked. Was for a minister to come in your first public function where you're just being welcomed.
Well, he's supposed to be diplomatic.
Yes, and there was no sign of that. He was giving them both bars directly. If you do anyhow, you say anyhow. If you maintain peace, we go on peace. Don't cross my path. If I tell you do this, do that. That's very important to us because towards the end of Amaechi's tenure, in fact, since the PAM secretary on the last ministry, the current PAM secretary, we have had issues with directive and counter directives.
Counter directives from where?
Yes, you hear a situation where the minister will tell the director of media, director of press, I'm going somewhere, I need to so so and so. The PAMSEC will counter the director. We can't go with you can't do that because this. You see, the director was left to be fighting for should I obey the minister or should I obey the PAMSEC?
Hmm.
The PAMSEC is the chief financial officer of the ministry. The minister is the government appointee over the ministry.
Over the ministry.
So, by right, a director should obey the PAMSEC.
The highest by rank in the ministry.
By right, a director should obey the PAMSEC, but also obey the minister more. The minister's instruction supersedes every other instruction. But we had a situation where, example, let me give you a critical example. Yomechi was going for a media inspection. He normally goes, and that helped him a lot in this project because it kept him on his toes. The media was always monitoring him. He was going, he would say, bring me 10 journalists, bring me 20, bring me 30 journalists, depending on where he was going and the number he wanted. And he would do that. The director of press will carry out the instruction. The palm said, will say, no, we will not pay them because I did not approve. You see? So, which means indirectly, you're telling the director of press that you can't take orders from the minister. And you know by the structure of the minister, that's why anywhere you go to, if you see wherever you see the office of the minister or the director or whoever, just look at the same floor, you see the director of the head of media. Because you work hand in hand with the minister or the head of the It's always like that. Your instruction normally comes directly from the boss. You don't need to go to directors. Other directors may be elsewhere. The newspaper work, they do approval, memo, all these things. Media is not like that. So I'm surprised. And that's why I say that I pray we don't get into that. Because the man said, claim one cross my path so that we have peace in this place.
Yeah, don't cross my path. Let's take a short break. When we come back from this short break, we want to talk about because the minister talked about low hanging fruits. I want to know those low hanging fruits. What are they? Are they achievable in 10 months? When we come back, please stay tuned, listeners.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back, viewers. We're still on to Money Radio, and the topic we're discussing is what next for transportation with new appointment of ministers. Before we went on that short break, AGK, we were talking about low hanging fruits that the minister said he's going to try to pick first or to harvest. What are those low hanging fruits?
I think the minister was just being frank because you can't initiate a new project within them
Yes,
and get funding and everything and pass the approval stage.
the budget is already
It's
in.
a long process.
Yes.
So, critical or factually, you have to look at what you can do within that short term. Now, there are some projects going on. But I think it will be easier for you to focus on completing the making, which is 97% completion,
Yes.
and commission it.
Mhm.
I think there is something like that should commission it.
He will take glory for that one.
We take away for that one. Just like the former government took glory for Abuja Kaduna that was almost completed by the Jonathan Swede.
Yes.
So the Dala, there's a dry port in Kano,
Okay.
Dala port, almost completed. It's a PPP project. It's not a government project.
What good is that port when we don't have good transportation? I'm talking about real transportation because when you talk about dry port,
No, it's very critical. It's part of the future targets because we are trying to link the country by way.
yeah,
Now we are building from Lagos down to
is that project ongoing?
yes, Lagos to Ibadan is part of the project.
Yes.
To continue to Ilorin, to come all the way to Maiduguri. That's the target. It's not something of now, it's something of in the next 10, 15, 20 years, depending on the government get
Okay.
and their focus.
Okay.
So by the time you have this, the idea is if you have containers from the IC in Lagos, you put them on the train, you move them directly to Kano for the one going to Kano. You understand? So you don't need to pass through the road. Now that we don't have the rail line now, we don't have the standard train now. What are the options? If it's completed, you also move containers by road to that place to Kano, and you keep them there. From Kano, you can serve the whole of the north on that axis, and even Niger, Chad.
Okay. So
You understand?
that dry sea port is just one of another.
Dry
it's-
port.
Yeah,
That's the dry
sorry,
port.
the dry port.
land port.
Yes, it's going to be another.
Is another info that
low
we
hanging
focus
fruit.
on and complete
Okay.
because that is almost completed. Then the Lagos and the Kaduna Kano, depending on the finances. I don't know, politics just happened, primaries. I don't know the one that government are eating. I don't know the main funds they have. So I hope they have the money because Amechi was also pushing for it to be completed before
The end of this
2020.
tenure here.
Yes, but a lot of things must have happened. And I can tell you for sure that since they started campaigning for the primaries, I'm sure work has stopped on that project. But it's normal. When government shifts attention to something, the workers relax.
That brings my attention to yet another thing. The new Minister of Transportation is saying that he wants to tackle low hanging fruits. But
He wants to block.
yes, he wants to pluck low hanging
Yes,
fruits.
we should just talk about it.
Yes. Now, to pluck low hanging fruits, you have to have some height. If you don't have a good height, even the low hanging fruits, you can't pluck.
Of course, of course.
So, the height of this new minister will depend on availability of money, just like you said. How available will that money be, considering the fact that this is the year of campaigning, electioneering? 2023 will just be,
Just to come up with.
yes, it
Right,
will be
right.
just
Finalize election
to
is February.
yes, election is February.
So 2023 is out of
2023 is out of the way. So,
January, you are rushing, February, you do election.
exactly.
Hand over May.
So, critically, we are talking about 5, 6 months here.
Yes. Yes.
And after the elections, nothing serious will be done.
No, the good thing is this. That's why somehow you appreciate the president for asking those who had intentions to contest to resign. Now, the people in government, they don't have any intention to contest anything in 2012.
Yes.
So they are focused on their job. The, the president has practically weeded out the people who will be distracted during the electionary campaign.
No, the question I'm asking is, will the money be available?
No, the money. Let's not forget that we're talking about budget.
We're talking about the ruling party now. The
No,
ruling party is
of
still
course.
gunning for.
The ruling party the president is not running for this.
No, he's not. But
Yeah,
his
well,
party is.
His party is not he's not in charge of the government. The president is in charge of the government. By right. In a certain country, it's not an issue.
Yes, it shouldn't
A,
be an issue.
a campaign, your campaign is a personal thing. It shouldn't affect government.
It should not be an issue.
Yes.
But is it not an issue?
In Nigeria, you may have a situation where you have a little bit, but I can tell you that this particular time is different. Because the sitting government or president is not contested again. You understand? It's a new person entirely. New persons entirely with their own funds, their party support, and everything. So it's not like when you have a sitting president contest. If you have a sitting president contest, I can assure you that from now till that time, nothing will happen again. Because the president will focus on campaign. But now the president has nothing to do. He can only go for rally once, grand finale. That's when you see the president. He cannot be going state to state with the candidate. The final one in Abuja or Lagos will appear. So naturally, it should not affect government processes. The campaign should not affect. That's just the fact. And that is how it is. I don't even think it will affect me. So the money we're talking about should not be from the campaign. It should be from our resources. Fuel, oil, revenue, and all this. Remember, Kanu Kaduna had a budget.
Yes, so you just said something. The money we're talking about should be from the projects. So are the projects not going to be affected?
I said the money we are talking about should be from the budget.
From the budget?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, before they came out with Kanu Kaduna, there's a budget for it.
Yeah, but the budget comes from activities.
No,
The budget
budget
comes from
comes from-
economic activities. It's not that it's a
Yes.
money somewhere sitting down that you are just going to spend. No,
Yes.
it's just what you based on what you expect.
Yes, from oil revenue. Oil revenue, they are not giving it to Tinubu. Let us understand.
No, I'm not talking
Just
about
get-
Tinubu here.
No,
I'm
no,
not talking
Tinubu
about
is the APC candidate.
Yeah, he's
And
not the one I'm
APC
talking about.
No. APC is the sitting government. Tinubu is the APC candidate. Tinubu is not in power. So Tinubu had no access. It's not like that. And even if you're saying this thing 3 years ago, when Buhari contested it, we contested. I will understand you because you use all the government resources for your campaign. Now, Tinubu, Atiku, Obi, Kwankwaso, any of them cannot use government resources the way the sitting government can use it. So we should understand it. It's not going to affect if they want to do it. They are not going to pull out money meant for projects to go and support their party. It is not done that way. In fact, as a matter of fact, that is not even known for life. That is not known for supporting you when you're contesting an election. So I don't really think it's a if they want to do it, the challenge we may have is not fun. The challenge we may have is insecurity. Insecurity, building that Kaduna Kanu way. Insecurity is the problem. That's what you should focus on. What happens to the workers along the line, the kidnappers and everybody are roaming around that office. So that should be our problem. That should be our focus. If they allow them to work, I will go for it, even if they don't complete it. And remember, Kanu Kaduna is a flat surface. The work there is not so much. It's not like Lagos that you need to build through the surface. Flat surface.
So, what are your prognosis for this new minister? What do you think he's going to achieve? Finally, you have just hit the question. You just said it.
Lekki will be
Lekki.
completed.
Uh-huh.
Then that Dala dry port.
Yes.
Then the rest we can only try.
Okay.
Because
We can only try with the rest.
I don't think it will complete it.
All right.
It doesn't have time. 10 months is too short.
All right. And as a matter of fact, what will motivate him is just the desire to make a name for himself, because nothing else is there. And as the man is talking tough, that he's going to get in the way of anybody who wants to get in his way. Let's hope that.
Yes. We don't have that challenge.
Yes. So that's how we want to draw the curtain on today's edition of Money Radio, the transportation segment of Money Radio. EGK, thank you for being here again today.
Thank you.
Thank you to our producers. Thank you mostly those of you who follow us on this program. We'll be back on Monday with a fresh edition of Money Radio. That will be the national economy segment of the program. Until then, have a great weekend, all of you. God bless you.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.